Hi, this is Razak, Senior Financial Contributor for YWO, and we're breaking down the week ahead for February 16th to February 20th of 2026. So looking at the market breakdown, we're in a market that is ready to pivot one or two directions. And the question is which? Because we've had a major sell-off from both the indices and some of the commodities, and then we got somewhat of a bounce, or was it a beginning of a comeback? And that's the question that this week will answer. But before we get into that, let's break down the economic events of the week. So we start out the week on Tuesday, February 17th. From Great Britain, we have a claimant count change number coming out. And from Canada, we have a core price index CPI. That's an inflationary report. And then on Wednesday, February 18th, from New Zealand, we have an official bank rate decision coming out. And from Great Britain, also a core price index, that's a CPI number coming out. And from the United States, that same day, FOMC meeting minutes, which is basically comments as towards the last interest rate decision. Now on Thursday, February 19th, from the United States, we have corporate earnings for Walmart, which has been on a stellar breakout to new record highs continuously. An amazing chart, check it out. And lastly, on Friday, February 20th, from the European Union, we have a German flash manufacturing and services PMI number coming out. And from the United States, the same thing, flash manufacturing and services PMI number coming out. Now looking at the markets, let's break it down first with the forex symbols. The US dollar looks weak and weaker. Certain assets, it looks completely weak, like the New Zealand dollar and like the Australian dollar. And certain assets like the euro and the GBP, it looks weak. So the question is how much weaker is it going to get? It did get minorly stronger versus the Japanese yen. However, let's see if that's going to actually just a retracement, just like we look like a bounce. It looks just a little bit of a retracement and then a breakout. So that's something to look forward to the US dollar this week. Now looking at the international markets, yes, the Dow Jones did get a little bit of a bounce and looking like it's kind of bottoming out after that major sell-off. But again, the question is whether or not it's a bounce or a beginning of a comeback. You're going to have to look to the stocks to that as well to get that confirmation. Now looking at the stocks, yes, Walmart has been making new record highs and moving higher. And now with its corporate earnings coming out this week, we'll get some indication whether or not that was real. And also Apple is on a supportish level after a major sell-off from its high of 185. Question is whether or not it's going to bounce, and that's something to look at this week as well. Now looking at commodities, gold leads the precious metals higher as that did get a bounce this past week. However, silver did not. Okay, so that's something to look at this week to see that parity, to see if gold continues going higher or not. Now crude oil is on support as well. So that's something to look forward to see if that's going to bounce as well. Now lastly, looking at cryptocurrencies, XRP and Doge are the biggest bouncers, okay, or comebacks. That's the question. Bitcoin did follow through to 70K. However, the question is whether or not it's going to make a further comeback. That's all towards this week that I'm going to look to whether or not these assets that have sold off and then got that bounce, whether or not they're going to continue going higher. Now, in the current environment that we're in, we may see that pivot higher, but it's going to be in steps. It's not going to just give you all at one time. It's not going to just go in one time. It might take a rotation, might be one thing one day and another thing another day, and then taking a bit of a break. So that is just the current environment that we're in, is that you're going to be very selective about the assets that you're looking to trade, and you're going to be very, very careful as to see which ones are really moving that day higher and which ones are not. So it's going to be a little bit of extra work on our part as traders to really pick out those assets that are going to go up higher first and anticipate it. And if they're not, then jump into something that is going to make that comeback. That's something to look forward. Or on the flip side, you want to be sure that you're not, aggressively on the upside, as things may turn down and we just got to bounce and then we're going to get a sell-off. So this is, like I said again, a very pivotal week. So check it out. This is Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading week ahead. Thank you.